Our assignment requires us to undertake a sand casting process using wax. Without further ado, let's head over to the processes involved.
First of all, sand is the most important thing in this case. Due to this, sand filtering process takes place in order to have the finest sand which is needed in this process. With the sand, red clay were mixed together to have the better effect onwards. So it determines the final quality of casting product. Special requirements are imposed at stabilizing and optimizing the parameters of the molding sand so that it should maintain its properties required for molding. These requirements can be satisfied as long as specialized mixing systems are used to prepare and control the sand mixing process. Next, we set up the inverter drag box. In addition, we placed the pattern inside the box and poured some powder and sand mixture into the box.
For the drag, the pattern is first placed and powder is used to make it easier to remove the pattern at a later stage. The sand clay mixture is then filled around the pattern in the drag. The sand clay mixture is packed tightly using a blunt object to ensure that there are no gaps between sand grains. Excess sand is then removed to ensure that the surface is even. Finally, the pattern is then removed. This forms a cavity of the external shape of the pattern. The cope is done similarly to the drag, but instead of a pattern, a pathway of downsprue and ventilation is made. The gating is done at the apex of the cavity to form a pathway to allow the molten wax to flow during the pouring process. Finally, the cope will then be placed carefully on the drag, ensuring that the downsprue of the cope connects into the gating of the drag.
The paraffin wax is then melted with the aid of butane torch. By looking at the liquid state of wax, we can say that the wax is currently above its melting point with reduced viscosity. Liquid state of the wax is then poured into the mold to fill up cavity via the downsprue with the aid of funnel.
Wax solidification takes place within 5 to 10 minutes. This is because low temperature, which is above 37 degrees Celsius, and easy to solidify in the room temperature. Upon breaking the mold, we have noticed that the grains are sticking with the wax. This is because of the wax viscosity is very low or watery that sits in the grains gap due to the sand grains are still coarse or rough. The core and rack still have some minor gap that causes splash buildup at the side of the product. We have removed quite an amount of sand grains during the finishing process to get the desired shape. Some defects can be seen on the product. This could be because of the cavity damage during the pouring process.